is up, guys? It is the Jongasm, aka your favorite YouTuber of all time, and coincidentally, the most handsome one that you're subscribed to. Yeah. I really need a new intro. Trust me, I know. I just cannot think of one for the life of me. I'm coming at you guys today with another episode of Cartoon Conspiracies. I know you're excited. Now, the theory I've got for you guys today is pretty special in my opinion. It is my favorite show, or it was my favorite show from about 4th grade to freshman year of high school. It is The Simpsons. Since the day I was born, I have never had cable, satellite, or anything that means you get more than 5 channels on your TV. So up until about 4th grade, I watched really crappy kids shows on PBS. Then one day in 4th grade, I decided to change the channel from channel 11, which is PBS on basic cable, to channel 32, which is Fox on basic cable. The Simpsons was on, and oh my god, was it the funniest show I had ever seen at that time. From 4th grade to freshman year of high school, I rarely, if not never, missed an episode of The Simpsons. The Simpsons was almost my entire childhood, and that's why I'm really excited to bring you guys this theory. The theory is that every member of the Simpsons family is a genius. I know what you're thinking, that Lisa's the only smart one. But let me tell you, that's not true. Let's take Grandpa Simpson for example. Even though he's old now and very senile and kind of crazy, in his flashbacks that show him as a younger man, he was very, very intelligent. There's a couple of flashbacks that show him as an accomplished pianist, you know, somebody who can play piano, not a penis, a pianist, and also as a fighter pilot in the war. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with those two professions, but you have to be at least kind of smart to be able to do those two things. The theory goes that in the war, Abe Simpson crashed his airplane and received head trauma, thus lowering his intelligence and making him kind of senile and crazy. The head trauma resulted in permanent brain damage, and that's what made him so crazy and senile after the war. Now, as for Marge Simpson, the show just kind of presents her to be a very loving mom with average intelligence, but if you've seen any flashbacks of Marge's, it shows her as a kid being a very, very good student. She received exceptional grades and was actually kind of a dork. However, instead of going to college and starting a career, she chooses to be a stay-at-home mom because that is what will make her truly happy. Now, it's important that you remember that she decides this because the theme of this theory is happiness over intelligence. Now, for the main character, Homer Simpson, some of you are probably thinking there is no way he could possibly be smart. That guy is an idiot. But you, my friend, would be wrong. Now, I believe about halfway through this series, the show has an episode where it reveals that Homer has a crayon stuck in his brain. Before you ask, the way the crayon got up there was when he was little, he shoved a bunch of crayons up his nose. I know that's not necessarily intelligent, but we can kind of excuse that because he was a really little kid. That crayon served as a handicap and progressively made him a little bit more stupid. Now, the reason I say progressive is because in one episode, Abe Simpson explains to Lisa, I believe, the Simpson gene, which is that all of the men in the Simpsons families gradually become a little bit more stupid. This isn't the case, however, because Grandpa received the brain damage, Homer got the crayon in his brain, and Bart will get to that. But in the episode where they reveal that there's a crayon in his brain, they remove it, and Homer becomes a genius. It's quite possible that he actually becomes the smartest man in the world because he goes on to actually prove that God does not exist. Now, unfortunately, Homer being so smart kind of ostracized him from the rest of his friends who, if you haven't seen the show or don't remember, are all drunken morons. After losing all of his friends and having everybody hate him, Homer starts to become kind of depressed. He decides that being smart is not worth being unhappy, so in an act of desperation, he has his bartender, Moe, hammer a crayon up his nose and back into his brain. Now, remember the overarching theme of the theory, happiness over intelligence. Homer decides to become dumb but liked by everyone as opposed to smart and liked by nobody. It was for Bart Simpson in the episode where the Simpsons gene is explained by Abe. It shows that he was smart as a child, but his grades gradually declined and he became kind of stupid. Now, even though Grandpa explains that as the Simpsons gene, that is not the case. It's actually because as Bart grew older, he realized that his father wasn't quite the smartest person in the world. Kind of ironically, because he is revealed to be extremely smart later in the series. But anyway, Bart doesn't know that yet. He sees that even though his dad is dumb, he is actually extremely happy, and Bart decides to make the same decision. Deciding not to stress over homework and try to get good grades, Bart becomes carefree and happy as opposed to smart and stressed out. See, happiness over intelligence. Occasionally, from episode to episode though, his intelligence is shown when it comes to his pranks, which are usually pretty complex and very creative. Eventually, he starts to care so little about being smart, which is up until he's in about 4th grade, I believe, because I think that's how old he is in the show. He can't even let himself believe that he's smart anymore, so when he does try to get a good grade in school, his subconscious really won't let him. And that's why he makes fun of Lisa all the time. He sees how smart and depressed she is, and he wants her to make the same decision as he did. Lisa is the only character in the show that is constantly displaying her intelligence, and that's why she tends to be so depressed in the show. She can't stand being surrounded by a bunch of idiots, but at the same time she can't let herself just not care one time. So she's constantly stressed out, she's always studying, and it just basically results in depression. Now Maggie is a little too young to be able to make the decision to be smart and depressed or happy and stupid. However, her intelligence is shown in a couple of episodes when she rescues Homer from an angry tow truck driver, I believe, and through her skill with firearms. If you don't remember, there's an episode where she shoots Mr. Burns, which is a pretty classic episode in the Simpsons series. And there's an episode where she saves Homer from a couple of angry mobsters coming there to kill him by shooting them all with a sniper rifle from her bedroom window. And that's basically the theory. Everybody in the Simpsons family is a genius. As I always say, I hope you guys like this theory. I, for one, definitely liked it. I like most of the theories I do. I know a couple of you guys have been wanting me to do an Adventure Time episode, which I promise I will do extremely soon. It's just I've never actually seen an episode of Adventure Time, so I don't want to do a theory and not know what I'm talking about. As usual, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Possibly check out my Twitter or Facebook fan page too. And also, thank you guys so much for the emails and the questions for my Ask the Jongasm series. I didn't actually expect as much feedback on that episode as I did get, so I'm very excited about it, and I promise I'll try to answer all of your questions as soon as possible. The video that I'll be uploading this weekend will be another episode of Ask the Jongasm, but for my video next week, I'll take whatever is requested most in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all, and stay fresh.